Hello and welcome to the Story Pilgrim, episode 42, El Camino, Reflected Past. Now I've got a couple of quotes for you before we begin. You have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realise this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. And yet, I still can't find my own socks in the morning. Tom Allen. Now I'm Darren Hill, and today we're going to have a journey, a walk through time, through journals and videos that I wrote and recorded in 2019 on my return to the Camino de Santiago. Journals and videos that I have barely looked at since, and well, here's the thing. Why do I do this? Why do I document moments, thoughts, deep reflections, and then just leave them to gather dust? Are they time capsules, warnings, love letters to my future self that I never bother to read? Now, before we do dive in, could you please do me a favour? If you do enjoy the Story Pilgrim, help me keep this journey alive by subscribing to the Story Pilgrim YouTube channel. I mean, it's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it means that I can keep on walking, talking, and most definitely overthinking. So please go on, I'll just give you a second there to click on that subscribe button. Great, thank you so much. Right, back to it. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode. I'm revisiting the vineyards of Rioja, the quiet mornings leaving Estella, and my own scribbled thoughts on life, walking, and whether or not I should have had that third glass of wine. Now, this is a conversation with a past self who thought he had all the answers. Turns out I still just have the same questions. So let's lace up our boots. Yeah, or don't. I mean, this is a podcast. You can just listen to it in your slippers if you want. Let's take a step back onto the road and into the mind of someone who thought he knew where he was going.
And we're rolling. Hola. Hey, it's me again. Here I am, 2019, September 12th, back on the Camino for a short time. Just coming out of Pamplona. I took the train into Pamplona, being reminded about all these things that you find on the Camino, like these little stars, the scallop shells that we're going to follow. So yeah, 2 years ago was when I first came to Spain and walked and did the play, and I'm now back for a 9-day walk between Pamplona and Burgos. Really excited about it. Just lovely to be in places like this. We show the water, and off to Cisa Manure, and then on to hopefully Punta La Reina. I had a bit of a fun with my flight. The flight got turned around. We got as far as just leaving Canada, about to go over the Atlantic, and then something happened to our cabin pressure. So we had to turn back and go to DC, stop over in DC. That meant I missed my flight. So I was hoping to have been in Pamplona last night, but I had to stay the night in Barcelona. Anyway, really excited to be back. Can't wait to tell you more. That's what I love to listen to. That's Pamplona down in there.
See, I'm already reminded of something that I pretty much had forgotten and didn't recall, and that was the flight out there. Turning around just before we began our journey over the Atlantic. It was late when we got to Washington. It was frustrating. It completely messed up my schedule. But I just rolled with it. I mean, you had to. I had no choice. I just had to deal with the circumstances and I did get there in the end. Now, my first time on the Camino, I was there for a reason, to perform underneath the lintel as many times as I could. I walked all 500 miles in 35 days and I performed the play 26 times. It was a personal, a physical challenge that I had set myself. I just wanted to know what would happen to my performance as I got further into the journey. How would I cope? What would the reaction be to the performances? I had so many questions. And as I was preparing, I spoke to a lot of people who had done the Camino before, and I told them my objectives, and the majority of them said, that's just not possible. You're not going to be able to do that. And they did have so many valid concerns. The more pushback that I got from that, the stronger I became in my resolve to actually do that, to prove to myself that, I could do this. Now, being back on the Camino on my own with no objectives except just to walk and to experience what it had to offer was so refreshing. It was a little nervy, a little bit anxious, but it was that kind of anxious nervousness that made me feel just a little bit lighter.
Good morning, it's the start of day 2. You don't need to look at my ugly face. Just leaving Punta La Reina, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's about 50 degrees, 55 degrees, and this is what it's like when you are starting early in the morning. Had a good night's rest and off to Estella today. So here I am in Estella. It's 7 a.m. and I'm setting out now for Los Arcos, which is just another about 21 kilometers day today. But it's nice and quiet. It's quite a vibrant town, Estella, in Navarra. And it's quite quiet at the moment, which is nice. The Camino, since I've come back, I thought it wouldn't be too busy, but it seems to be a little bit busier than what it was in July. Maybe people think this is a quieter time, or the temperature, the heat isn't going to be as bad, but all is well.
Those early morning starts walking out of Punta La Reina and Estella it's the best time of the day, and I am hardly up and out at that time right now, back in my life, back at home. I think I've got a lesson to be learned there. And what you heard in the middle there was an evening, and saw, if you're on YouTube, saw the evening in Estella, the main square. It was such a vibrant town. The Spanish and the Italians, they live their lives very differently to how we do in the UK and America. Family, friends, food, drink, they all come top up the list, and work, I mean, it doesn't even make the top 5. It's down there. And I think I have to agree. Now, there are certain experiences that are shared with you on the Camino, and some of them which you would rather not. Well, yeah, listen in. This is one that I recorded. Yeah, and I'm not saying I was the culprit in this one, or the person that was affected by it. I'm not saying that I haven't done this to other people as well.
Morning. So here we are on the start of day 4 for me today. Last night I pushed a little bit further, didn't stop in Los Arcos. I went to San Sol, which is just a little tiny hilltop village, which is great. If I turn this around, you might be able to see in the distance just above the vineyard Logroño, which is where we're heading to today. It's quite a major city, so I'm looking forward to getting there. Give me a lift! Give me a lift! Come back! Oh. I don't know if you can tell as well, all the grapes on the vine. We are now entering into Rioja district, so this is where all of your Rioja, why give me a lift? Oh, it's the police. Yeah, they're not gonna stop for me. Maybe for some reasons, but not. I'm a good boy. Anyway, yeah, so we're in Rioja district, so a lot of your good wine comes from this area. So yeah, got about another probably 12 kilometers to get to Logroño. Oh, look at that. There's the Camino sign. Hey, so here I am in Nájera, in the exact spot 2 years ago where I did the play. I think this is one of my favorite places to do the play, because you've got this beautiful river that runs through the town. They have a festival going on today, so luckily that wasn't happening last year. They have this beautiful, it's beautiful, just the river here is just all like very fast flowing and has these little pools there. And I remember last time the albergue, which is right here, I didn't stop there, I'm stopping there tonight. It's the municipal albergue. A girl came to watch that was a volunteer there. She's from Barcelona, and she was in tears afterwards, and she said that she's a theatre major and she wasn't sure whether she was doing the right thing, and when she saw the play she knew that she was doing the right thing. So it was quite a special place, but I love the trees, I love the grass. It was just a lovely place. So yeah, my favourite place, or one of the favourite places, because there was a lot on the Camino.
There was a lot of favourite places on the Camino. Watching these videos back gives me reminders, but it also helps me to realise the things that I didn't say. You know, things that I didn't record or mention at the time. And then left wondering, well, why did I not? I remember that. Why didn't I say anything about that? But probably because it just didn't matter at the time. Or I probably would have said it. Now that performance in Nájera was one of the special ones. The lady that I met, I've no idea where she is now or what she is doing. But our paths met at that time for a reason. I do firmly believe in that. What the reason is, I don't know. Does it matter? Probably not. Just go with the flow.
So here we are, I think we're on day 7 of my walk. We are just coming out. Behind me is La Rioja, is the area where you get lots of wine. And in front of me is Castilla y León. So there's Judith walking off on her own towards the next village. And tonight we should be staying in Belorado.
ja, hier sind wir Kapten hier. Es gab ein großes Feuerwerk, die Nachbarn haben nichts gesagt. Und fühlte sich gleich angemacht, am Weihnachtsmann am Horizont. Auf 99 Luftballons, auf 99 Luftballista, aus Reichhölz und Benzinkanister. Hier sind sie für das starke Leute, wirft der schöne fette Leute, riefen Krieg und wollten ab. Mann, wer hatte das gedacht, dass einmal so weit konnte? Gegen 99 Luftballons, gegen 99 Luftballons.
Wie haben wir jetzt
A typical fun evening there in the albergue on the Camino. A couple of those people I had walked with for a few days, Nathan, Ord, Judith. We had met randomly on the way. We would meet in a restaurant, just walking, we get talking, you get to know each other, why you're there, who you are, what's going on. It was that evening, that was a group of Dutch pilgrims that we all just met at the dinner table, and the guitar lady came out at the end. Nathan strummed it up, and the rest is history, as I say. The Camino brings people together in a way that is very unique. We all become a pilgrim. I remember in 2017, people would refer to me as a pilgrim, people that lived on the Camino, people that I was walking with, and I sort of shrugged that title off. I was like, no, I'm not a pilgrim. I'm not doing this pilgrimage for that reason. I'm an actor, and I'm walking it for a different reason. But quickly, I sort of began to realise that, well, it didn't really matter. That was the perception of the people observing me doing the walk, and that was okay. It was doing no one any harm. You know, I can talk to people about why I'm doing what I'm doing, I can educate them, I can let them know, or I can just accept that that's how they see me. The Camino is a great leveler. It puts you all on the same footing, and that is a very powerful thing. A lot can be learnt from having a single, simple objective that you individually want to achieve, and if you choose to join others in that single objection or objective, the strength is huge. The strength that is built and discovered, I mean, it is life-changing.
On his own Camino.
I think it just ate. It's kind of thick.
Oh yeah, it's thick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he ate something.
A mouse.
Oh no, maybe.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think he ate something.
It looks like it.
Yeah. Nature's food.
So, this is me in ages, and this is the church where that, well, it's his stained glass window. King Garcia was killed and interred, and then he was moved. But just listen how quiet it is.
The contrast between the quiet of the church in Adjes and the vibrant, pulsing energy and music of La Tabalacela is striking. Two extremes, both created by human hands. One is a place of stillness, of whispered prayers and silent reflection. The other is a space alive with movement, laughter, music, conversation, and yet they both hold something sacred. Presence. People existing fully in a moment, whether in humbled reverence or in joyful connection. And that perhaps is what this whole reflection on my 2019 Camino comes down to. Presence. These journals, these videos, they are echoes of a past self, trying to capture something fleeting. And yet, what do I do with them? I keep them. I store them away. I rarely return to them. Why? Because maybe deep down I know that the past isn't where life is happening. Right at the top there, Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." And I wonder if, in a way, that's why I've always struggled with looking back. Not because I fear what I wrote or filmed, but because I don't need to be reminded of things that aren't mine to control anymore. The walk has already been walked. The words have already been written. The conversations, the performances, the encounters, they happened. They mattered, and then they have drifted into memory, as all things must. And yet, we hold on to them. Not to live in the past, but maybe to remind ourselves that we did live, that we felt something, that we connected, that we were present at some point, even if we've lost sight of it now. Tom Allen, in his ever dry wisdom, reminds us that despite all of our attempts at self-improvement, we can still lose our socks in the morning. Yeah. And that's the truth, isn't it? We can walk 500 miles, we can fill notebooks with deep reflections, but at the end of the day, we're still figuring it all out. And that is okay. The Camino taught me this, that both times the past will keep... I'm going to start again with that bit. The Camino, it taught me both times that the past will keep moving further away. The future will always be uncertain. But right now, this moment, this is the most important moment in my life. I've said it several times before. And I'm not saying it to be dramatic or life-changing, but because it is the only moment that I actually have. The only moment that is real. So maybe I don't need to read every journal. I don't need to watch all the old videos. Maybe, just maybe, I needed to open them at this time to remind myself that I was there, that I was present, and now I am here. And maybe that's all any of us are trying to do, just to leave little breadcrumbs behind for future selves, just in case they forget, we forget how much we've already lived. The Story Pilgrim was written, walked, talked, edited, recorded, revisited by me, Darren Hill. Anya Backer was supplying the music on Sean the Harp. For more about us, please search out The Story Pilgrim. We're on all the socials. Once again, please subscribe. If you're still listening at this point, thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you. Keep listening, and buen camino.